All we seem to hear about in the news nowadays are the midterm elections. President Donald Trump has been on the campaign trail several days a week, exciting some, infuriating others. We are told that the midterms will be a referendum on Donald Trump. We are told the Democrats are excited. We are told the Republicans are excited. Every news story seems to have a secondary angle on how it's going to affect the midterm elections. The mad but incompetent bomber is going to help the Democrats. The caravan, no wait, it's an invasion. No wait, it's a caravan, is going to help the Republicans. Everybody seems energized about the midterm elections and who is going to control Congress. And everyone seems to have an opinion about who's going to win the upcoming election, so you would assume everybody's going to get out to vote. Not even close. Less than half of the people registered will even bother to vote. Take a look at the turnout in the last 4 midterm elections. The turnout ranges anywhere from about 36.5% to 41%. And even though there are predictions that there's going to be record-setting turnout in this midterm election, I'll believe it when I see it because I've heard it before. In 2010, the Tea Party took to the streets demanding that the Democrats be held accountable for the Affordable Care Act. There were predictions then that there would be record-setting turnout, and they got 41%. Like I said, I've heard it before. Abraham Lincoln once brilliantly said, "We have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people." But when the people don't participate in the process, we lose that essential ingredient in our democracy that makes us so special. It would seem that our republic has grown complacent. The oppressed around the world still fight and die for the same freedoms that our revolutionaries once fought and died for. Freedoms that we now take for granted. And when those modern revolutionaries achieve democracy, they embrace it like a sacred personal responsibility. For instance, after Iraq was freed from the oppression of Saddam Hussein and the country was to have its first free election in a democracy born anew, voters were warned by terrorists not to show up at the polls or they would be killed. The threat was real. There were 9 attacks on polling places on December 15th, 2005. 44 Iraqi voters were killed. And still, in brilliant defiance of terror, 78% of Iraqis showed up to the polling places, proudly displaying the ink on their index finger to show they voted. It became a courageous symbol of change. Yes, that's right. Even in Iraq, they have voter ID. But it's not just Iraq. We average one of the lowest voter turnouts in the world for either midterm or presidential elections. Iceland recently had elections. They almost got 80%. Mexico averages 63%. South Korea gets over 80%. Most countries enthusiastically base their elections on the American model. But in America, we somehow lost that enthusiasm and the sense of responsibility that comes with it. Look, I don't have to remind you how important these midterm elections are. The balance of power in the House and the Senate will be decided. State and local elections will be decided by you. And then after you make your decision, decisions will be made by those you vote for that will profoundly affect our future. It is not only our most basic right, the foundation of all our freedoms outlined in the Constitution, it is our duty to participate. We hear so much about voter suppression these days, but the truth is, the only person that can suppress your vote is you. The polls open early on Tuesday. Remember that others have had to fight and die to give you the chance to participate in your government. All you have to do is show up. I'm Larry Menti. We'll talk again soon.